in like few things. For example, you have a continuous supply chain of oil, always readily available. You don't have to be dependent on the market oil. Secondly, if you want to maintain a standard quality, then that is where this helps you much, because if you buy oil from the local domestic market, the quality of the oil varies from meal to meal. And if having just using your own oil really helps you with the quality.
Thank you. Now, moving on to Mehul Agarwal. He is the director of Castor Industries. He used to be a seed trader and a happy man earlier, but he saw some margins, some money into crushing, and they established a crushing plant post COVID. So maybe we can get some idea what prompted him to be into the processing industry, and what's your view currently? Was that a right decision or wrong decision? And you are an expert to the seed also, so just want to know how the exchange impacts, whether the purpose of price discovery is able to be, we are able to get the
ट्रेडर का जैसे आपने बोला है तो सुसाइड ही है ट्रेडर से इंडस्ट्री में आना, विशाल जी ने जो बोला वो, और अब आ गए तो कुछ कर नहीं सकते। प्लांट का जो डिसीजन दिया था वो ऐसे तो गलत ही है अभी, पर अब चलाना पड़ेगा। पर अभी काफ़ी सारे इसमें प्रॉब्लम्स हैं और सबको एक्चुअली अपन कैपेसिटी बढ़ी है, पर प्लांट्स में भी अपन थोड़ा बहुत, जैसे बारदान में इतना लॉस है, वो सब अपन कोई मिलके उसका भी सॉल्यूशन भी अपन को ही लाना है, पर वो सब अपन को मिलके वो भी देखना पड़ेगा कि ये कैसे अपन सॉल्व कर सकते हैं।
About NCDX, how do you feel? Because you follow the exchange, and you know how the deliveries are made on the exchange. And so, is the purpose served of price revolution?
एक्सचेंज का ऐसा है कि हेज के हिसाब से अपने लिए जैसे बहुत अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म है कि अपन उसका यूज़ कैसे करते हैं। डिलीवरी यानी मैंने इनको एक बार एक सजेशन दिया था कि ये इनके बैक टू बैक कंटिन्यू इनके जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट चल रहे हैं, तो मैंने अभी भी अरुण जी से एक डिस्कस किया कि आपका एक फरवरी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट स्किप होना चाहिए। एक्सचेंज में प्राइस डिस्कवरी मार्केट से ही वो होती है, और इनका जैसे फरवरी, इनका प्रॉब्लम ये है एक्सचेंज में अभी अपन को कि बैक टू बैक जब अपनी सीजन आती है मार्च अप्रैल मई जून, जब एफडी आगे खड़ी हो जाती है, तो एक तरफ किसानों का माल आता है और एक तरफ एक्सचेंज का माल का भी प्रेशर रहता है एफडी की वजह से। तो मेरा इनसे एक रिक्वेस्ट ये रहा है कि फरवरी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को आप स्किप करिए, जिससे जनवरी में सारी एफडी आगे खत्म हो जाए और नया कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मार्च का ओपन करिए। तो जो भी एफडी लगे वो सितंबर या अक्टूबर की लगेगी, तो जिससे क्या होगा, ऑफ सीजन में प्लांट वाले को हेजर का माल मिले और सीजन में एक्सचेंज का प्रेशर ना हो, तो ब्याज बदले के कारण उसमें हेजर को और प्रोसेसर को सबको इजीली माल अवेलेबल हो। तो एक्सचेंज का रोल कैसे कौन लेता है, एक्सचेंज का यूज कैसे करते हैं, उसके ऊपर डिपेंड है। बाकी एक्सचेंज ऐसे अपन इंश्योरेंस है अपने लिए कि माल अपन को जैसे ऑयल बिक गया है तो उसके सामने अपन एक्सचेंज प्रोक्योरमेंट कर सकते हैं। अपना माल अपन को सीड आ गया है और ऑयल नहीं बिक रहा है तो एक्सचेंज में हेज कर सकते हैं माल।
So I'll translate in English that okay, he was a seed processor. Now he feels okay, he already invested into processing, looking to our suit and ties, and now I think he's not that happy, but he has already jumped into the well and now he has to survive. So because not many industries, actually the fact what has happened is during COVID time there were enough margins and the volumes also has increased, and that has resulted in lot many processing companies just getting new processing industries just set up. So I think the capacity that got multiplied almost 1.5 times. So that has resulted in it. And on the exchange part, what he says that okay, it helps in hedging actually, but there are only near-term contracts, and during the season when the new crop is also arriving and there is stock already on the exchange also, so that is adding up the stocks, and that that is not helping the proper health. So what he said that okay, instead of having there should be a system on the exchange where the old stocks get liquidated before starting of the season. So there should be a system from the exchange side where they ensure that the old stocks are liquidated and the new stocks are added to the demand on the exchange. So that should help. Yeah. So moving to Bhavin Bhai, I think he is a director in Girnar Industry. He is also running Castor Oil and Derivative Unit. But in Junagadh there is less of competition, and I think he is a happier man as compared to the other parts. So just same question to you. How do you feel the industry? How the industry can move forward, or what are the ways out? Is investing in R&D or something is going to help, or is industry investing more into R&D, or what should we do? Like we discussed in some sessions that okay, some improvement in yield because the capacities which are already there that cannot be reduced. So what is the way out of this problem?
Thank you. Give me this opportunity, Salisbury. I agree with जीत भाई. अभी जो जितने भी कैपेसिटी है डिमांड सप्लाई उसके सामने प्रोडक्शन कैपेसिटी जो इंडस्ट्री है वो डबल गुना हो गए. तो पेरिटी की तो कोई बात ही नहीं है. जो क्वेश्चन आपने पूछा कि R&D में, तो उसमें हम काफ़ी पीछे है. उसमें आगे बढ़ना चाहिए कि डेरिवेटिव्स में अभी भी कुछ मार्जिन है. ऑयल इंडस्ट्रीज में तो पूरा इंटरनल कंपटीशन इतनी है कि उसमें हम इंडस्ट्री सर्वाइव ही नहीं कर रहे हैं. सो जैसे कि हमसे जो ऑयल लेकर जितने भी वैल्यू एडेड प्रोडक्ट इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में जो बना रहे वो यहाँ पे अगर एस्टाब्लिश प्लांट लगाए और हम एज ए डिमांड भी देखें तो इंडिया की पॉपुलेशन के वजह से काफ़ी बड़ी डिमांड है. वहाँ से मैन्युफैक्चर करके वापस यहाँ से इंपोर्ट हो रहा है. सो वही हम वैल्यू एडेड जितने भी डेरिवेटिव्स अलग अलग अभी लिमिटेड डेरिवेटिव्स यहाँ पे इंडिया में बना रहे हैं. सो उसमें भी हम कितनी नई कैस्टर में से जो जितने भी हमारे बायर्स हैं वो वैल्यू एडेड जो बनाते हैं वही हम यहाँ पे स्टार्ट करें तो ही. और कहीं ना कहीं इंडस्ट्री में R&D डिपार्टमेंट में काफ़ी पीछे है. लिमिटेड प्लांट जैसे कि जयंत है, रॉयल है और सब लिमिटेड प्लांट जो R&D में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं और उसमें से नई वैल्यू एडेड बना रहे हैं. सो आई रिक्वेस्ट में अगर उसमें हम डाइवर्ट होंगे तो ही कॉम्पिटिशन में टिक पाएंगे. अदरवाइज इंडस्ट्री कैस्टर में मार्जिन नहीं है. कहीं ना कहीं काफ़ी इंडस्ट्री एवरी ईयर एक इंडस्ट्री का तो भोग लेता है. आपको मालूम इस बार कौन आएगा मालूम नहीं, बट एवरी ईयर एक का तो लॉस होता है और नया प्लेयर आ जाते हैं. Thank you.
Industry is already suffering with negative margin, so they are thinking twice for new R&D and all. So obviously, without R&D, we are not developing the third generation derivatives and all, because we want to increase Indian local consumption. Otherwise, margin is never coming.
Okay, so what he said is the same, that the industry is always suffering from this problem of negative margins, and what is the solution is to invest more into R&D and put more investment into value-added products. What he said that castor oil is getting exported out of India and that is getting processed into value-added products outside India, and further the end products are getting imported. So value addition is only the key solution to this problem. One more processor, Bharat Patel, is from Kisan Agro. Yeah. Problem. Everyone now we are into problem. We will explain the problem.
R&D.
I am also part of it.
Even in R&D, what we are seeing is we are seeing limited products and same thing going on. We have to find either new products. Secondly, what products are coming back? Not too many are coming out. Only as a castor derivative. Many products which are imported, they are coming as consumer products. They are coming like it is application is there. The gap is more in the application. Why to do R&D? That is a big question. Just doing the same products and making the same products, reinventing the wheel is not going to help that much. So we need to take more periods. We have to recognize that we have a very small industry compared to other this thing. So we R&D. Doing the same thing is not going to really help. It will come to the same fate, because unless we grow the limits in terms of crop size or anything, where R&D is required is either in applications or this thing. I think very, very few products must be imported as a pure castor derivative. It is coming with in a much different form. What is imported back?
So I do agree, not to focus on the products, but to focus on applications, the end applications, getting nearer to the end applications. Yeah. So Bharat is from Kisan Agro. They are also a significant player into castor processing industry. Question to you again. How do you see this problem of disparity and futures? Is it impacting our day-to-day trades, and is it helping a processor in hedging or in price reviews?
पैरिटी डिस्पैरिटी ओवर कैपेसिटी की वजह से एवरी डे पैरिटी ढूंढना कैस्टर इंडस्ट्री में मुश्किल हो गया है। और अर्लियर जीत भाई ने जो बताया वो कि राइट टाइम बाय राइट टाइम सेल, दैट इज द ओनली वे टू अर्न मनी इन दिस केस एज पर द कैस्टर इंडस्ट्री इज कंसर्न। और नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आपने पूछा
एक्सचेंज जो है उससे क्या आपका डे टू डे ट्रेड में इज इट फैसिलिटेटर और इज इट क्रिएटिंग सम हिंड्रेंस इन डे टू डे ट्रेड?
इन दिस केस वी कैन से 50-50%। 50% केस में जब बाई करना होता है वॉल्यूम नहीं होता है, और अगर बाई हो गया तो वॉल्यूम की वजह से थोड़ा बहुत दिक्कत आ रही है ट्रेड में। बाकी अगर कैस्टर वॉल्यूम का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो जाता है तो इसमें कोई खास कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होना चाहिए ट्रेड में।
Okay. So I'll go to Arun Yadav. He is from NCDX, and just my question to you is, okay, what are the 4 reasons why there are little volume on exchange, and is what action the exchange is taking to solve these problems, and how they can facilitate the industry and the farmers to create the liquidity and to facilitate them in price evolution?
Sure. Yeah, I think thanks SCA platform for kind of giving me opportunity to speak in front of this SCAP thing. I think as far as exchange is concerned, there are I think couple of points that I would like to put here. First one is whether the exchange is serving its purpose. I think it is very well serving its purpose, because if we look at the spot market and compare the futures with it, it is both are kind of moving in tandem. So from that perspective, I think it is serving its purpose. Secondly, I would just like to come to the industry side. So we have a product advisory committee which basically defines what would be the parameters for the contract at which it will be traded, and I think that is a very fair representation from all sectors of the industry. So it has all the major processors being part of it. There are traders, there are financial players, there are farmer organizations, and I think all of them duly give their representation, and based on that we actually make any change in the product. So there were 4 major suggestions which we have received, and especially a lot of them are from the buyer side, and they have certain issues when it comes to the physical side of the trade. So and I think we have worked on all 4 of them. I'll just explain you if we have some time. So basically there was one issue wherein the buyer was saying that I wanted to, when I test the material, that is when the assaying takes place, usually you put a bumpy and take sample. So probably Castor has a bigger seed size and the sample is not coming clearly, so you should change the process. So what we have done is that now we cut open around 10% of the bags. We take sample through bumping from 100% of the bag, and we also take a sample from 10% of the stock. We basically compare both, and then whatever is on the lower side, that is what is given as a credit to the seller. Similar practice the buyer can also avail. So that is point number 1. Secondly, there was also a suggestion related to the bags. So, the physical trade takes place in old Bardana, the Purana bag. Right? Whereas, if you look at exchange, now everything is new Bardana. That is, we are actually giving you delivery in a better quality bag compared to what usually a processor receives when he buys at his gate. Thirdly, I think there was one more point that was raised, which was particularly related to the discount structure in the exchange system. So we earlier had a single rate, and there was a suggestion that if there is a quality variation, so rather than having a single rate, you can give a discount to different rates. So even that was introduced last year. So I think majority of the demand that the product advisory committee, which also has representation from the processor side, we have taken care of all those suggestions. As far as I think there is one more suggestion that has come up regarding not having a contract during the rain season. We are definitely considering it. We will have a advisory committee at end of this month, and we will put it forward there. And if the members agree, we are very much happy to actually do that also. But at the end of the day, I think you also asked about the volume. So I think from our end, whatever we can do as an exchange in terms of facilitating the trade, we have done that. Our request to the fraternity would also be to kind of participate so that the volumes are significant enough so that there is there is no slippage losses. So if I wanted to buy 1,000 ton, I should be be able to buy it at a click of a button. So that will happen when the entire industry also supports us, and that is what our request is. We are there to kind of incorporate any suggestions which are duly needed and suggested by the TSC.
So now moving on to Manoj Agarwal. He is a trader. He is I think one of the most experienced person to Castor industry. He is associated with this industry since I think more than 25 years. He was running a processing unit also, and he is considered to be encyclopedia for these things with all data and all these things for crop and all. So Manoj, first question to you is the futures, because you follow the NCDX and all these things. So how the future, is it facilitating the trade for the farmers or not? And the second question is, okay, how do you see the sowing this season? Because you are just doing all crop surveys and all these things. So we have seen the government numbers that the area has reduced this year. So what are the main reasons why the area? So can you start with the NCDX?
NCDX प्लेटफॉर्म फार्मर के हिसाब से तो ठीक ही है, कोई ज़्यादा खराब अपन नहीं कह सकते, लेकिन इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए थोड़ा सा प्लेटफॉर्म को इसको और भी, जैसे कुछ निर्णय लास्ट ईयर अच्छे लिए गए एक्सचेंज के द्वारा, फिर भी थोड़ा सा और इसको अच्छे से मैनेज करे तो NCDX का प्लेटफॉर्म इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए भी गलत नहीं है। जैसे सैम्पलिंग के लिए कुछ दिक्कतें आ रही थी तो साथ में बैठ के इसको सॉल्व किया। सोइंग के लिए आप जो कह रहे हो कि क्यों कम हुआ, कम होने का कारण तो लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन क्रॉप है कैस्टर, और दूसरा जैसे बनासकांठा या महसाना या पाटन जिले में कम होने का कारण कि वहाँ पर दूध उत्पादन डे बाय डे बढ़ रहा है, इसलिए वहाँ के किसानों की रुचि ग्राउंड नट्स के क्रॉप के अंदर ज़्यादा गई है, ये भी कारण है। अच्छे क्रॉप की बात करूं तो मैं इस साल मुझे वार थराद में क्रॉप लास्ट ईयर से अच्छी दिखती है, बाकी सभी जगह कम आएगी, और मेजर कम आएगी वो इलाका हारीज, शमी, शंखेश्वर, पाटड़ी, मांडल और विरमगाम, इस एरिया में मुझे मेजर कम दिख रही है एज पर लास्ट ईयर।
मेन रीजन क्या है ये सोइंग कम हुआ एरिया?
कम होने का कारण लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन क्रॉप और साइड क्रॉप्स में जैसे ग्राउंड नट्स के भाव, और जो मैंने आपको बताया हारीज से लेके हारीज, मांडल, पाकड़ी, विरमगाम, समी, शंखेश्वर, वहां पर अरहर यानी पल्सिस में क्या बोलते हैं इंग्लिश में, उसका रीजन भी, तुअर की रीजन की वजह से भी वहां का एरिया में शोइंग कम हुआ, ऐसा मेरा मानना है।
बारिश उसमें इम्पेक्ट करता है, मानसून पैटर्न?
मानसून पैटर्न तो कोई भी सोइंग में कैस्टर में बार बार जैसे कंटिन्यूस रेनिंग होता है, जैसे आज बारिश हुआ और 5 दिन 7 दिन वेदर क्लियर रहे, उसके बाद सोइंग हो, फिर उसके ऊपर पानी गिरेगा तो वो वापस सोइंग किया हुआ खराब होता है, उसको रीसोइंग करना ही पड़ता है। एक बात मैं और कहूँगा सी से भी कि इस सेमिनार में जैसे नेक्स्ट ईयर के लिए कुछ सीड्स कंपनी भी इस सेमिनार में आती है, उनको भी पैनलाइज किया जाए तो वो इस बारे में ज़्यादा आपको बता पाएंगे कि भाई सीड सोइंग कहाँ ज़्यादा है कहाँ कम है। यदि वो पूरा अपना डाटा अच्छे से दे तो, और इवन उनके फील्ड में आदमी 20-20 रहते भी हैं सोइंग के बाद में भी, क्योंकि हर सीड कंपनी कई तरह के बीज देती है, जैसे पहले कैस्टर दिया अभी जीरा दे रही है, इसके बाद और कुछ दे रही है, तो उनके आदमी फील्ड में रहते हैं तो उनको पूरा ध्यान रहता है कि कैस्टर की क्रॉप कैसी है क्या नहीं है। जैसे इस बार लेट सोइंग हुआ है तो लेट सोइंग की वजह से अभी जो कैस्टर सीड बाजार में आ रहा है हर एक की अपेक्षा से कम आ रहा है। 4 महीने या 6 महीने पहले जब सोइंग हुआ तो हर एक ने सोचा था कि कैस्टर दिसंबर में ठीक ठाक आ जाएगा, नहीं आया। फिर के जनवरी 15 को आ जाएगा, नहीं आया। 31 जनवरी को आएगा, नहीं आया। आज 15 फरवरी बैठे हैं, नहीं आया। ऐसा 2011 में हुआ था, ऐसा सेम सिचुएशन 2011 में हुआ था कि लोगों की अपेक्षा के मुताबिक सीट नहीं है।
Okay. So I'll just translate a few things.
2011 में नहीं आया था सर।
That was a shortage year, excessive year when there was the price went to
अक्टूबर 2010 में एक्सपोर्ट प्राइस $1700 था और फरवरी 2011 में $2800 हुआ था। 15 फरवरी 2011 की शोइंग और 12 का क्रॉप। और एक बात और बता दूं, ऊपर में 2800 हुआ, एंड $2000 से हुआ था। और एक बार और भी बता दूं, छोटी सी बात है ये भी कि 2011 की क्रॉप आने वाली डिमांड से 1.25 गुना थी। उस साल की क्रॉप थी करीबन 1.8 मिलियन और उस टाइम डिमांड थी 1.1 मिलियन या 1.1 मिलियन।
will come to SND and all.
Okay.
उसमें तो what first question he said NCDX is already taking steps, taking suggestions from the industries and all, and then still there needs to be some improvement in terms of that to create liquidity. And on the sowing side, he said some of the areas the sowing was delayed. The main reason for less sowing is because of subdued price of castor as compared to other crops like peanut and others. Plus monsoon is also affecting, the monsoon pattern also affects sowing of castor. What he suggested that okay, what we are doing into C, that okay, we are making survey of farms and all. He suggested to collect data from the seed, sowing seed companies also, whether they were selling higher quantities as compared to that. Normally, most of the people we are collecting the data, but yeah, that numbers are not published, but that is also one of the way to know whether the sowing is increase or decrease in this area, in this season. So, moving forward to the last expert, Biren Vakil, and he is an analyst, chartist, and he has a big knowledge in terms of global SNDs for various commodities and all, and on the currencies and economies and all. So, just want to know about how do you feel castor industry in terms of demand, supply, the problems which we are discussing, and how do you see the currency behaving in
on a macro scale, it's kind of a twilight zone, and I'm a little confused whether it's a down or plus. So first, I would start with currencies, and here we have bifurcated this question into regime, BRICS regime and dollar regime. BRICS currencies, especially
Can you take the mic?
Russian ruble and Brazilian real rebounds, having a stunning rebound. Ruble is 110 to 90, and Brazil 630 to 575. Even Chinese yuan also recovered smartly from 736 to 725 as of yesterday. So the talk of imposing 100% tariff on BRICS market is ignoring this. So far, dollar regime is concerned, peak is around 111, 110, 111, and as of yesterday it was 106.50. So I think tentatively speaking, dollar index is also peak for a while. So rupee is the only underperformer in BRICS regime, and lastly it was traded around 86, 50. I think there is a room for rupee to mild appreciate towards 86, 50, 86, maybe 85, 80. Even strong rebound in real and yuan. Now come to Castor. We have, if we see from futures perspective, content is very tight. That is steep backwardation in first and second month contract. March, April is also in wide backwardation. So basically market is tight. Arrivals are fairly low compared to corresponding period. Opening stock is, I think, maybe season opened with 5 or 6 year low. So we are starting on a low arrival, low stock. Now supply side is almost clear. What we need to gauge is how long demand will stay and where demand resting will start. So, how tariff second round pan out, there are a lot of white cards, weather and currency volatility. But at the first quarter or maybe first half of this year, broadly speaking, I could visualize X Castor 1100 to 1300 or maybe 1150 to 3050. Second quarter is April, May, June, depends on how arrivals, farmers selling into production, demand from China or other buyers, and of course currency, whether the rupee will be 90 or whether the rupee will be 80. Broadly speaking, I'm hearing all these experts, and I'm maybe a little bit contrarian, but I'm not really too much pessimism or too much negativity. I'm optimistic basically. So I'm sensing 2025 would be a little bit better compared to 2020.
Thank you. So now, Vikram bhai, just you are leading process. So now we will talk more about the supply side. We already have demand from various geographies from the world, and we will not talk much about the pricing because we have a price outlook sessions at the end of this conference. So we'll talk about the supply side because people would like to know how the supply is going to be this year. So what can be your numbers in terms of the carry in? How do you see the seed availability from the old season to this year? How was the carry out, and how do you see the supply this year depending on the sowing area, and also how do you see the crop growth?
So our expectation of carry forward is carry in is about 2 lakh, 100,000 tons. And the crop expectation, it's because of the late sowing, it's still little early to estimate. But given that most of the many other places the crop has been quite healthy and good. There are a few weak spots like Mohanbhai said, but other than that, the crop appears to be quite okay. estimate will be somewhere around 17.5 lakhs as a crop size, even with the decrease in area by 20%. So that is the estimate from supply. Then we have 17.5 plus 200,000 get forward. So 1.95 million is total availability for the industry.
So as per your opinion, I think the overall availability this year may be little lower than what it was last year?
Yes. But I think again last year we had started with a very optimistic progress. Again, this is again, you know, if we don't, the weather continues, we don't have any rough heat coming early or something. So given that the sowing was late, and considering that the current health is good, we are saying that yields will remain little better than last year.
Okay, Jitbhai, what are your numbers in terms of carry in for this year, and how do you see the crop evolving that depending on the current weather pattern, what can be the numbers, and is the current overall availability similar, higher or lower than last year?
Carry number is, I agree with Vikram, it's around 200,000 tons. That is always remain in the system because that is between the all crusher, that is the one kind of the pipeline stocks. That carry always remain in the systems. And about the compared to last year, we have predicted almost 19.75 as per SEA in last year. But from the October, the all plants are suffering to run like at least even 40 to 50% capacity, even not run. So that's mean last year also we have predicted a little bit higher. So compared with last year and this year area, I consider crop is not more than 1.7 million.
Okay, so overall you feel this year the availability may be
Availability is, we consider 2 million including carry, then also is not enough and for the entire.
So to sum up, is the availability this year higher than last year, lower than last year?
It's a balance. It's a balance.
Vishalbhai, now how do you see crop growth this year in Kutch area? Because Kutch now the crop seems to be increasing. The area is also as compared to past many years now. The Kutch area is getting developed and new hub for Castor seed, which used to be the North Gujarat. That was the only hub. How do you see